All right, y'all. It's the Grind Infotainment. I am your host, Suge Diddy. In the house, I got with me the one and only Uncle Boss. What's happening with you, bro?
Man, ain't know what's going on, brother.
Shit, man. Hey. So, I already tell them where to find you at.
Man, just look for me on IG, Uncle_Boss81. That's it. That's all, man. I ain't hard to find.
All right, so you gotta get to me one good time for our fans. You gotta get on. You gotta give them the infamous quote.
Infamous. All right. You already know how I'm rocking. I'm up no good in your hood, slinging big wood. You would if you could. I do because you don't. I will because you won't. It's your boy, Uncle Boss, a.k.a. the number one Auntie Smasher. And that's top two, but I'm not two.
That's a bar. So of course, where did it come from? Like, just like,
to be honest with you, that shit came out of nowhere, man. I think it was around about the time me and Nate was doing Gentleman's 30.
Okay.
And you know Nate, battle rap and shit.
Right.
So he always got some good quotables and shit. And I think we was just in the motion of doing one, and I just said that shit and rolled with it.
That shit is priceless. Like, that's become part of the intro for the radio show. Like when you did the drop,
when I did the drop,
like that's like I got my musical intro, then it fades into your drop, and then it goes to wherever the show gonna go.
Okay.
So like, and I appreciate you dropping.
Oh yeah, man, absolutely, man, absolutely.
Now, Uncle Boss, I title you the podcast guru in the Ville.
You know what? I have to accept that now. Before I wouldn't accept that before me, but
right,
yeah.
Because I'm gonna say on a week number, 87% to 97.5% of the podcast in Fayetteville, you've had some sort of hand in with the creation, production, even to being, you know what I'm saying, a part of the cast.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, what really got you involved in podcasts?
To be honest with you, I didn't know how much I really watched them or indulged them.
Mm-hmm.
It was one day I was just chilling with one of my homies or whatever. We came back from hooping, and he was like, "Hey, bro, you trying to be on this podcast?" And I'm like, "Podcast? I didn't think that I could do a podcast."
Okay.
So he pulled out a little app or whatever that you can do podcasts on, and then they distribute it and shit. I got to thinking, I'm like, well, shit. The shit I sit around and talk about every day or just on the humbug, hell, I can start my own shit. So I started doing research and everything else. Started watching more podcasts and listening to more podcasts.
Okay.
Then when I found out what I needed and how to do it, man, shit, I just got that shit popping.
Right. Now, there's so many of them on the list. If you want, name the podcast that you wanna mention. Any of them that you don't want to mention, you ain't gotta mention.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Whole lot of Easter shit. That was one I did with these three individual ladies or whatever, you know, young working class mothers or whatever, you know, just their perspective, voice or whatever. So I executive produced it and distributed that for them. Most noted one is probably Gentleman's 30, you know. It revolved around the battle rap culture in the 2-6. Me, and of course the host of it, Nasty. We put that out. You know, we had some heavy hitting interviews, some were controversial. We even gave somebody their first interview ever. You know, broke him in.
First ever interview. Period.
Now when you was in the garage, that vibe was crazy. That vibe was, I had the whole setup.
And like, for that to be the first time I ever sat in on a podcast, first time being interviewed, like, y'all had the most professional setup. Thanks. Regardless of it being in a garage, like, you had that shit looking like a real studio. I mean, from the table to the way the mics were set up to the lighting in there and everything. I was like, well, damn, I'm waiting on somebody to come stand in the corner in an isolated booth and be rapping while we shoot the podcast, because you had everything there like a professional studio.
Well, that was the garage, man. That was a part of the early vision or whatever. Like, when I was looking for equipment, when I was trying to find what niche I wanted to do as far as podcasting, I like I say, I'm doing research. I'm watching podcasts. I'm not just watching the black ones. I'm watching the white ones, the Latino ones, the Telemundo. But you know, that's part of my research. All right, I watch something like Drink Champ. So you got Nori's whole setup. Of course, I can't afford all this liquor, but you know, I can buy a couple of little bottles, put them at the end of this table, hit them with some lighting, some shot glasses, have some variety for you. If you drink white, then get right. You drink brown, then go and get down. So, you know. Whoa, whoa. Wait a minute.
So now, okay, you mentioned Gentleman's 30. Is there any other ones you want to mention?
Well, right now, me and Nate, we started a new one. It's called Hold My Drink. You can find it on just any streaming site or podcast site or whatever. And we started that, about top of this year? So it's just really just like a open discussion, conversation type thing. You know, I'm in there, I'm probably in there saying something wild.
Also his Tourette's.
A little bit. But that's what I'm kicking off right now. I executive produced On the Rise Radio when Mozzie was on WDRB. And I've had my hands in On the Rise TV as well. Past year and a half or so. What else?
Most definitely.
Probably most noted too as well for the Ready for Takeoff podcast.
Okay.
I helped jumpstart that or whatever, get that ball rolling with that, and then we went our ways.
Okay. So now, what is one of the favorite things about being involved in the podcast world for you?
I think it's just the interaction with people, man. I'm a people person, man. You know, you see me, I'm always cutting up on the lap, and it's just really a space where you can get people the most relaxed, to tell the truth. Because, like, when you, all right, let's take when you came to the Go Ride. When you put that, when you sat down in that chair, I saw you sat down like this, like, and you looking around and stuff, and you're like, damn, this shit for real. Then we told you, hey, man, just relax. You can lay back in your seat, man. That mic's going to pick you up, and we'll even adjust it if it don't.
Right.
And you got comfortable, you know, put them headphones on, and you heard your own voice, and you heard everybody around the table's voice, and you heard stuff that was probably going on in my living room.
No, I actually didn't.
Well, that's because I put the mics right. You going to keep it hot. But, you know, just that whole aspect that you can get somebody that relaxed and have a good setting for them.
Right.
They're like, you can just actually have a decent conversation or just have fun. Get a motherfucker take his cool off.
Most definitely. So now, you've got the podcast on lock. You're doing On the Rise TV, which is a current thing. You've got the Hold My Drink with Nasty. Now, and you even had a battle rap. Match.
Yeah.
What brought that on? Like, you and YM, like, how did that come about?
Shout out to Brody YM, man. That, you know what? I actually forgot about it. Yeah, shout out to YM. We had the Godcast coming and stuff, and we actually had What We Talking About coming or whatever. Okay. So, you know, we're working on What We Talking About or whatever. And we actually have some old fire content for that. And we're sitting there. I don't know if it was him said it or I said it. I was like, man, shit, we should sit here and film like we battle rapping and shit. So we whole life getting the character and everything. Film one segment. I had a couple ideas on how to straight it up, but all in all, YM put that thing together like a G. Okay. And yeah, I did 40 you nigga. Don't get it twisted. 42.
So now, we met via battle rap.
Facts.
Even though we really like extended family.
Pretty much.
You know, as we found out through battle rap. So, and you keep up with the culture a lot. So now, I'm gonna put you in the hot seat.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna apologize in advance.
Go ahead. Let's get it.
What do you think the Fayetteville battle rap scene is missing?
Accountability, presence. It was a time and point like when this scene started. It was a lot of pride in it, and that was what it was. That was the thing to do. Oh, you ain't about to whoop my man. That niggas making side bets and everything. And then the general atmosphere of it was all love. Like, if there is still a Fayetteville battle rap scene, y'all niggas acting like y'all ain't even hungry no more. Where your nuts at, man? We've let motherfuckers walk in from out of town and wipe some of us, man. Nah, man, fuck that, man. Make them niggas wipe their feet at the front door.
Right.
You saw that welcome mat, nigga. Fuck.
I lost another fuck.
Facts.
So now, before the battle rap scene started up in Fayetteville, had you previously been to battle rap events?
I hadn't been to one, but you watch Smack.
Right.
I mean, shit, you watch all that stuff on the internet and everything else. Battle rap has always been a part of the culture. And then even me having a love for hip hop, yeah, that's part of the culture. Like,
right.
I'm fucking with all that. I'm even fucking with like old videos of Biggie of the battling Preem on the corner. So like that's a part of it. Like even old ass rap battles or whatever. What was it? LL going against Kool Moe Dee or something at one point? Yeah,
Yep.
That far back. So like battle rap has always been a thing for me.
Right. Okay. So now we're gonna switch it back to podcast real quick. What is one of the things that you dread about doing podcasts? If there's anything that you dread about.
To be honest with you, nothing, man. It's more so a passion for me. I'm not scared of the failure. If I'm gonna take an L, I'm gonna turn that L to a lesson, man. I know not to do it again.
Right.
I mean, nothing befuddles me about podcasts. It's an open field where you get to learn more. So even them mistakes right there, them ain't even mistakes. That's just part of the old ways. You just gotta get over here.
Okay. So another possible controversial question.
Okay.
Do you think that there's such a thing as an oversaturation? And I ask this because when you started doing the podcast, and the ones that you were not affiliated with or involved in, there was a lot of podcasts that started popping up, left and right as soon as y'all dropped the first couple of episodes.
Yeah.
And there was another podcast person that felt like it was being oversaturated.
No, it's a few reasons why podcasting, even right now, would never be oversaturated.
Okay.
For one, if you're podcasting, you have to pick a niche. What are you specifically gonna podcast on? If your niche is even being sporadic, I'm a podcast on everything. That's your niche. Because that niche helps people that want to watch your podcast or listen to it find you.
Right.
Number two, when's the last time you fully watch TV? You always streaming something or you always on YouTube. So when we used to watch TV, there's all kind of commercials and advertisements and everything on there. Right. So now, how I'm gonna tell you I got a product unless this field right here. So if they're investing money into this to sell ads, it's not oversaturated.
Right.
It's too much growth in this thing. I mean, it's an ever changing thing that it can't be oversaturated. We can all have individual podcasts going on right now in here. How you project your stuff, how you produce your stuff, and how you get it to the people that's going to support you is on you.
Right. I feel you on that, and I agree with you on that. So, for the people out there that feel like they can start a podcast themselves, what is something that you would offer them to take into consideration with getting started? Like, what's some advice that you would offer them?
The hardest thing about this whole thing is getting started. Like, that's the hardest thing, because we'll say, man, we're gonna do and I've seen, I know a guy right now, man, I want to do a podcast, I want you to help me with it. We've been talking about this shit for 3 months.
Okay.
You just got to go ahead and do it. I mean, like, if you're going to do it, because it's basically like a drug if you into it. You know what I'm saying? Once you get that first hit of it, like, oh, man, shoot, I want to do it again. That was wonderful. And I mean, it's just starting it, man, or either study it. If you're not going to start it immediately, study it so when you start it, you'll feel comfortable.
Okay. Most definitely. So now, are there any other lanes of entertainment that you're either involved in or considering getting involved in?
You know, male stripping, man. My stage name gonna be Mocha Coffee. Coming to a rest home near you.
And I'm laughing because I believe him.
I got a tearaway G-string for you, Gertrude.
Not Gertrude.
Gertrude.
If y'all got an aunt named Gertrude,
Gertrude done.
keep her away from him.
I'm smashing. But nah, I probably won't be at that rest home about wintertime because it's tax season. I'm trying to flip this 8-ball money. Anybody out there? Runway thin to highway heavy. If you got that tax money, I'll let your boy.
So now, boss, and I've asked you this plenty of times, off camera, different events that we've both been at and everything. Like, why haven't you considered comedy?
I don't know, man. To me, like, doing something funny that makes somebody, it's just a spur of the moment thing.
Okay.
I mean, I probably could get up there for about 5 minutes and captivate, but you know, I'm more so observational or whatever.
Gotcha.
Certain things happen like in the room or whatever, I got something to say about it in about 2 seconds. So, but I mean, if I sat down and wrote something or whatever, or had a good concept, I could do that.
Okay.
That might be the next thing, to be honest with you.
Okay. Because I mean, like, even if, like, just doing the reels like some people have done, I've seen, like, some guys that have, like, become popular on, like, YouTube and TikTok and whatnot. So it's like, and let me rephrase this. Well, let me clear this before I say it. Now, I understand some people, when they're trying to be funny, they ain't that funny.
Yeah, if you gotta force it, then it's really not funny, and it's gotta be relatable.
Okay.
Like I say, most of my stuff is observational, so like in that moment, yeah, we can relate to that. We can laugh at that. I got several things we can focus on about that. Blah, blah. I'm probably not a good storyteller, so I wouldn't go up there and try to comedically tell a story, and this shit drag out too long.
Gotcha. Okay. So, comedy coming up.
Oh yeah.
If I gotta put my head like
he gonna make me do it.
Because I always ask you and bug you about it because I'm not saying that you need a push, but it's like speaking it into existence.
Facts.
If I say it enough, why don't you? Eventually, you're gonna go ahead and jump into it like the podcast.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, here we go, man. So, I've been hearing that I need to do comedy more often nowadays. Like it's like even that last episode of Hold My Drink, starring me and Nate. Y'all make sure y'all go stream that on any streaming platform.
Shout out to Nasty.
Shout out Nasty. What up, boy? So like even on that, we interviewed a pub owner. His name's Patty. He owns Patty's over there off River Road or whatever. And you know, just sitting in there having the interview, this is my first time meeting the man, so you know, I'm just being me. So he was like, "Hey man, why don't you go do stand?" He's Irish, so he's like, "Why don't you go do stand up, man?" Yeah, man, I got a stand up night at me club, man. Come to me pub, man. So you know, went out there for the stand up night. Met the guy that actually runs it.
Okay.
And you know, a couple of people been in the works and in the talks trying to get me on stage.
That's what's up. Definitely.
You know what? Actually, probably even more reason why people think I'm funny. You know, shout out to Mozzie. It was the first quarter album release. He let me host that or whatever, and, you know, alongside of Bishop and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, me and him had some good banter or whatever, kind of kept
I was there.
crowd going. Oh, yeah, you was.
I was there. I was there. Shout out to Bishop.
I was lighting him up.
Yeah. Or between you and the drink,
Boy.
he was lit.
Yes.
Boy,
Yes.
We'll talk about that on another episode.
Another episode for that.
But yeah, so yeah, because you did your thing that night, definitely. You held the crowd, you had the crowd rolling. Might as well have did a full set, in my opinion.
I can dig that.
But definitely something we got to get you on the ball rolling with, because you're not like the run of the mill comedians.
No, I'm more relatable.
Yeah, and definitely. And so that's another question, since you bring that word up. Like, how important is being relatable when doing podcasts?
It's I say it's semi important because like if you're gonna do a podcast as like a goldfish enthusiast, and this is the only thing your podcast is about.
Okay.
So is that 10 people that might be searching right then and there for a goldfish podcast.
Gotcha.
So like being relatable and stuff, it is important because people are looking for certain things, but it's really not because I've stumbled across some platforms that like I probably wouldn't normally check out, but through me searching, like, well, what's this?
Okay.
And actually come to find out, okay, I actually like this. So it is and it isn't. You just got to be in your lane and do you.
So now, how important is networking? This is just a general question with entertainment industry. How important is networking?
They always say your network will be your net worth. It's actually a great tool, all in general, a great bartering tool. Because, like, let's say I'm going out of town, but this is Suge Diddy's area right here. So if I've networked with him and done good business with him, in turn, hey, look, hey, bro, I'm in your backyard.
Right.
You got any recommendations or da-da-da, do I need to go somewhere or where I need to stay from? Boom. We've networked that. Or if, because, you know, you have a clothing line as well. If you sit there and network with T-shirt makers,
Right.
you just pop in a T-shirt maker meeting.
Definitely.
Well, hell, I need 500 cases of T-shirts off the face. Because you've made that connection and you networked, and now you've amassed like at least a good relationship the way you can get some things done.
And speaking of T-shirts, so like, how important is branding?
Branding is everything. If I don't know who you are, then how am I find you?
Right.
Or if your brand isn't out there, then where am I looking for you at? You can tell me you do this and do that all day, but if you have no branding to prove that, I mean, most people ain't gonna rock with you because there ain't nothing tangible they can see. So like, either you're symbolizing something, or you got a label or something that's just like unhumble. I know that tag every time I see it,
Right.
because he has branded that. He's branded it to the point where it has its own song. That song turned into a clothing line, and every time he drops something, he's telling us this same unhumble story in his pain or whatever. So that unhumble shit, that's a brand that Uno made.
Definitely.
So I know where to find him. I know what to look for. I know when he's dropping something.
Right.
He branded that.
Most definitely. So now, you've been doing some traveling with the show.
Oh, yeah.
So, and you was at the Kodak Black concert.
For sure.
So now, because podcast is about content creating as well. So now, how did you feel, being in a room with some other big stars? Because we got a lot of big stars here in a little bitty town.
Facts.
That people really don't realize as much. So now when these people are doing their thing and they come to town and they know you already, now how's that feeling being?
It's a great feeling. It's a dope feeling or whatever. You know, you gotta once you realize what type of moment it is, you kind of know how to move in it. Hell, I even like being the brokest nigga in the room, because now I can watch and see. Okay, this is what people with money do. I ain't gonna do that. That's not for me. So you get to see how even different camps move or whatever, and you take notes. Just always take notes of what's going on.
Most definitely. So now, with the hip hop scene, what do you feel would help Fayetteville be recognized on a broader scale?
As far as the Fayetteville, this melting pot of just straight sheer talent, and it's like some of this talent is for no reason, some of this talent is purpose. Unity, man. Everything is too cliquey around here. Like, all right, if we can push this side of the city out there, then like that leaves the door open for this side of the city to get out there. But like we can't do it because I want to stay over here and I want to stay over there, and and all this right here is just room for error.
True indeed.
We're never gonna stop hate because y'all are gonna have somebody hating on something you do. You're never gonna stop that. So it's just we got to learn how to agree to disagree.
That part.
And then that's at least like, all right, I don't like y'all, but if y'all right there about to be the next thing to blow out of here, boom. I might have networked with they mans and them over there, so now when they get over there, hey, tell them about us over here too.
Right.
So now, time, motherfuckers don't even know you, and they still don't like you. You got to at least know about a motherfucker before you can feel like you like them.
That's true.
A lot of motherfuckers don't like me. They don't even know me.
Won't even take the time to just like find out about it.
That's just because I carry myself.
Nah, that's out of their fear and ignorance.
Well, you know, not to butt in y'all shit, but go ahead.
Yeah, to get that off.
Blow game.
Definitely. Shout out to Blow Game Music Worldwide. You know, our unofficial sponsors of the event, as well as, you know what I'm saying, Star City Battle League, unofficial sponsors. Now, you speak on hate. And like I look at it as hate actually helps create a balance in some senses.
Hate ain't nothing but misguided love, man. That's all it is, man. I don't know everything about it, so I'm just gonna be weary. I'm gonna act out of fear. I'm gonna react out of fear. But like even too, sometimes some of that hate is warranted for, like you say, balance. Like maybe I'm doing so good right here that I don't know that I ain't doing good over here. So now when I hear about this motherfucker hating on me over here, oh well shit, I ain't know that. Let me take some note and go over there and work on my set over here. So hate it's a necessary evil, man.
Gotcha on that. So now, who are some of, and I can ask you this because you're not a rapper.
Fact.
So, and you know, I don't fuck with the list thing or whatnot, but who are some of your favorite independent artists from here in Fayetteville?
From here in Fayetteville, favorite independent artists.
Some of. If he doesn't list everybody,
no particular
it's just
order.
because the
my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, we don't want y'all hating on us because you think we don't support you, but I play y'all music and y'all don't even know.
I be rocking y'all shit too. Like right off the top of the dome, just to name like a few that like I know I am rocking with. Carolina Slim.
Okay.
Yeah, he go hard.
Yeah.
Uno, of course.
Definitely.
Let me see here. Boom, 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 boom. Out of the Ville. Who else? Because it's just like so many.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. It's a guy, he was in the military around here. His name is Dietrich. I rock with his music. Who else? It's just so many, man. Like, nobody really knows about that back line of that Fayetteville independent artist scene. There's actually some great music out here.
Indeed.
Even the cats that cut through here through the military, like all right, Woo Baby, I rock with his joints too.
Most definitely.
Like I said, it's just so many. Scoop Die Ho. The list goes on, man. I mean, until the top tier of this list, or however y'all making these lists, get pushed out there, we ain't going nowhere.
Right.
We ain't going nowhere if y'all ain't gonna do nothing for the top tier of this list.
I feel it. So now I'm gonna ask you this then. For some of those top tier artists, nobody being named specifically,
Mm-hmm.
aside from geographical backing,
Facts.
what are some of the things that could possibly help them become more of household names elsewhere?
I mean, some of it is like some of them actually have to clean up their image.
Okay.
So you're promotable to household names elsewhere. Because I mean, there's certain stuff like even if a record label was interested in you, it's certain stuff that you may have on your profile or in your history or whatever that might make you a liability. So that lessens your chances for me to go market you somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like even down to the way you're making your music. We just had this conversation earlier.
Yeah.
You might make the street version, and everybody in the streets is working with it, but you also have to have you a radio-friendly version.
Right.
So, like, just as well as I can hear it in the streets, I want to hear it on the radio if I am a radio listener, which radio is still a thing. So, never miss that market to get your streams on that. Right. So, like, it's just getting your ducks in order, make sure you're presentable.
Most definitely. So, what do you think is, and this is dealing with the podcast.
Okay.
What do you think is your definition, of course, of doing too much when it comes to a podcast?
Well, I mean, like I said, it depends on your subject matter and your niche you're doing it on.
Okay.
So now, even too, if you're doing a multi-panel podcast, and let's say the majority of the cast is like the mics on the podcast, and you maybe have one guest, you got to find either some flow or way or cue for us all not to talk at the same time, and more so let the guests talk the majority of the episodes. So I've seen like where you have an amass of people on a podcast, hosting the podcast, you have this one guest, which like now I'm getting bombarded from whatever question either way, and it kind of throws off my balance as a guest because now we're all over talking to each other.
Right.
So developing some type of flow is key if you have a
Most
podcast.
Most definitely. So now, and I'm still putting the question together in my head as we speak. What do you feel? What was it? What do you feel? I don't want to say this. What do you feel would be something that would cause the downfall to a podcast?
Lack of structure.
Okay.
If in fact there is something even as small as there is a main host, then that's where all the traction should be. So like, if you got a multi-mic podcast or whatever, and you got like I said, that mass of people, this should be the fault. I'm the host. If I'm saying, hey, you talking too much, or no, pick that up, put a pin in that or whatever, I should be the traction. So
Gotcha.
even structuring how you're starting it or whatever. Let's say you're filming on two different devices or whatever, like we were. One was catching sound, one was catching video.
Okay.
So me and that cameraman just starting our buttons at the same time.
Right.
You just gotta have that structure if you're gonna lay one out and it be great and it be good or whatever.
Okay. All right. So What do you think is the most important thing you've learned in the podcast game, whether it be from actually the experience of producing, starring in, or even just within the research process?
The biggest thing, man, was that research. Like, I learned a lot. I learned about like sound or whatever, and probably novice at like adjusting mics and stuff like that, making sure sound is curated right. Um, just even set design, little stuff like that. Gaining that knowledge, and like I'm still gaining knowledge.
Right.
Even knowledge on how to distribute this thing to multiple platforms like at once.
Okay.
And stuff, and like even learning the price of like different things or whatever, even trying to get monetized or whatever.
Right.
Just the countless massive knowledge I've been learning is probably
Okay.
important.
So now, my final question for you. Do you feel that clickbaiting is a good or a bad thing?
Okay, it can be a good thing because how many people are watching your stuff? And maybe you actually have something that is of good taste that they should be watching.
Okay.
But maybe you just don't have the funds like to have a flashy logo and all this call out time to your platform. So now we put a picture of titty up there, we at least gonna look at it. Now, I'm at least gonna click a little bit on it, right there on the nipple. I'll tell you. My grandma used to have one of the TVs. You had to turn like this. I know what to do with it.
Oh, man.
Shout out to boy Cutter P.
Shout out Cutter P and Cut Juice Podcast.
But just what the hell were we talking about?
Clickbait.
Clickbait. So like I said, yeah, the titty threw me off. The titty threw. They always do. I don't care what size they is. You can show it with 2 prom pimples on your chest. Come here.
Oh, damn, not a prom pimple.
I ain't never seen nobody turn down them little mini cupcakes at Walmart. But you know, just if it's a clickbait to call out to get people to your information, because that's how we consume information now.
Okay.
We're not, like I say, we're not watching TV.
Right.
We don't see these commercials. I don't know that you do this, but you can buy ad space on this certain platform to let me know that you do this, because that's what we always are. So, like, yeah, clickbait is cool.
Okay.
It's a call out.
Most definitely. I feel you on that. I like I say, I feel it's a good and a bad thing.
If it's used for marketing, it's a good thing. If it's used to like mislead people, of course, clickbait. Stop with that catfish shit.
Right. Like if your video ain't that interesting, just accept it.
Just roll with the punch.
Figure out something better to do to draw the people in. Because I mean, just like I see a lot of people that have podcasts or they have vlogs or whatever, they jump on whatever the freshest topic is. Now, so with that being said, excuse me, do you feel that without piggyback, when there's a certain situation that comes out and you already got 50 different people reporting on it, do you feel like you got to piggyback on it if you're releasing something around that time? Or do you think that you can probably like still, get out there and be noticed without necessarily having to piggyback and ride somebody's coattail?
It depends, man. It depends on your structure and your strategy, man. If because people hashtag everything.
Right.
Like during the time the Will Smith slap happened, like you could add a picture of 2 donkeys doing a 2-step. As long as you had a picture of Will Smith slapping Chris Rock on him, somebody's gonna end up watching a donkey doing a 2-step, man.
Most definitely.
So, like I said, it just depends, man. Do you need that much help? Because like you don't want to tank what you already have going on.
Right.
So now if I mess around and attach to this, let's say the Will Smith slapping Chris Rock thing and this thing tank, now I'm attached to it. So you got to kind of pick and choose your battles on that.
Yeah. Because I feel like one of the downfalls to that is you risk a chance of getting lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with all the clickbait on top of that.
Then you just in dead space after that. Just like a lot of folks will use Charleston White as clickbait.
Right.
They'll have him as the whole thumbnail and then it's a Geico commercial. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
But like that, he's hot right now. He's running the internet. So like anytime you kind of slow down when you see something about Charleston, what this nigga done did now? Little glass eye ass nigga.
Honestly, I keep scrolling.
Like, I don't buy into it, but like the more and more you keep scrolling, the more and more you see either the same one or a different one.
That's true. That is true.
Well, he's doing his thing with that. Honestly.
All right, so now I want to ask you. I'm gonna get on to one of the current event topics.
Let's go.
Because I just like to hear everybody's opinion lately. Rappers that are snitching, man.
Rappers that are snitching. First,
does it matter to you that they're snitches if they're making good music? Like Context had said in his interview.
Like I say, man, I separate their music. Now, if it's some music about like some of your believability and some of your street credit, I can't take it serious now because now I know the truth. So I might nick some of that. But if it's hot, I mean, hell, I'm gonna let it play or whatever. Like it's shit that like I used to talk shit about back in the day or whatever that I wouldn't play or whatever. Now that shit come on, I'm like, damn, this shit really was hot. So, but like, I mean, I ain't gonna cancel out good music just off of a motherfucker having that fucked up gene inside of him, which make him tell on a man. But I mean, it all depends or whatever. And then I never really was listening to Tekashi anyway. But I don't listen to none of his shit.
Most of it.
I know when it come on because I know when to turn it.
Most definitely. Well, boss, we're going to go ahead and cut this interview.
Okay.
Because I done held you hostage. And, you know.
I ain't mind, bro.
But definitely appreciate you, you know what I'm saying, taking the time. And, again, as I tell everybody, and I don't say it just because it's cliche, but definitely wish you much more success than you already generated for yourself.
I received that.
Keep doing what you do. You know, I support whatever you got going on, and stay away from no aunties.
Man, I might.
One of them gonna leave their false teeth stuck on you.
That's fine, man. I'm into that new shit. If you out there, Gertrude, Barbara. Some of y'all got two first names, Rose Ann. There you go. I'm looking for the one with Monty.
I need what?
Monty.
We need an auntie with Monty.
Monty. I need an auntie with Monty. If you ain't got no Monty, don't call me. You take your 3 chins and your beard and you get out of here. Gertrude. Gertie.
Oh, damn. Hey, on that note,
that was hard.
It's your boy Shit Diddy. I got Uncle Boss, the Auntie Smasher. This is Grind Infotainment. We out of here.
We out.
Y'all stay safe out there. Boy, you is hell. You is hell.